everyone, I'm Overhaul, and today we'll be reviewing in Fire Force Chapter 247, Destruction Spell. At least I think it's 247. A lot of current manga series are around this general number, so it's gonna have to remember. The usual disclaimer at the beginning of the video, I'm not a kid-specific channel. Although the topics I discuss might look like they're for kids, I'll probably end up talking about something that's either not for kids, describing something that's not for kids, or just using language that's not for kids. So, I would advise you not to watch this video if you're a child. As for anyone else, let's get on with the video. So, like I kind of predicted, we are not going to have a full dragon fight, and then the rest of the fight. And some people might be a little surprised, a little shocked by this, but again, it makes sense to me. Like, Dragon is literally named Dragon, as if the Dragon character, mean the second boss of the game in the anime, he's Kaku to Alpha Zoro. He is the was also another example. He's the, I guess, Ginyu Alpha, Ginyu, Ginyu to Alpha's Vegeta. Like, Dragon versus Alpha should be one of the last fights, not the second one in a row. Especially not before Ritsu and, although it's more emotionally dramatic, Giovanni. So yeah, it makes sense that this chapter is made for Vulcan. Although one thing I do want to mention is there seems to have been a title switch or a change of a title, because the last chapter was I believe 250 years of obsession, which I believe is also the title for the next chapter. But I've seen the spoiler images for the next chapter, and let's just say that aside finally getting the fucked up imagery that Giovanni revealed, hopefully, fully, it doesn't really give me a 250 years of obsession type of vibes. Although it could still be, it's explained like, I can't read Japanese, so I'm not sure what it says, to say the least. So maybe it is going to like take a lot of obsession through the 250 years in dialogue. But yeah, there seems to have been a title change or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a thing where what Okubo really wants to use the 250 years of obsession, but every time he comes to doing the next chapter, he just doesn't feel like it fits. So yeah, needless to say that's pretty much just the title thing. It's really not thinking big. Today in this one we get a little bit of an image because the anime's final episode came out last week, and Okubo decided to like do a little promotional by drawing Shinra in this kind of weird style, and I guess give us a color scheme for the tattoos that I thought we already had revealed, but I guess we didn't. So yeah, we get that style, and then we get the Amaterasu as a front page, which is basically just showing the kind of two sides of the coin. Like, people view the Tower of Amaterasu as hope and light, while in reality it could also be viewed as despair, because a woman was sacrificed to power everything up. I mean, whenever you have to sacrifice someone, it's gonna be a little more like despair. It's kind of like the sulking in Soul Society in Bleach, where yeah, he's necessary to function, but what he's actually is a bit more on the side when it comes to those things. So yeah, now let's get finally into the actual chapter. We started the chapter with Vulcan's family kind of like reacting to battle, which they don't see it. They just see a bunch of explosions and that boom sounds, which I'm guessing could be from John, since they do mention the battle started. And they should still be really early in the Amaterasu. So I'm guessing they're hearing Dragon versus Chan versus Ugon, and they head forward. And they mentioned the fact that this is Vulcan's family, and Vulcan wants like to get a good look at them. And but the time doesn't really allow him. Like he'll do it after. He also comments that there's definitely a lot of technology. It took a lot to get this done and built, but they decide, but they don't not sure what exactly they are fully used to. From what they could tell, it's like just to like support Amaterasu. It's also mentioned that it's definitely had more complicated than the one that was in Chinese Peninsula. The one in season two that we've seen, which is pretty obvious, and that one I believe was more just a straight hallway with a bunch of numbers and maybe some stones. Well, this one is like you can see pipes all over the place. Like there's even a chapter or a page where we see like just the Vulcan family like looking around it, and you can see a bunch of like pipes there, like all over the place. If that page is gonna have any major significance, it's unclear because there are numbers printed on there, some of those pipes. So maybe there could be a hint to it, but I'm not exactly 100% sure. Needless to say, the Vulcan's family finally gets to the main gate, and before that, they're even questioning like, what do we know about this ski, and pretty much all they know about this ski is that it it starts the cataclysm, and there's something with P, which I'm not 100% sure what P is. Like I don't. I mean, I'm sure I read it just to get a bit more on the subject, but I don't exactly remember exactly what P is. But from what I can tell, it's some kind of like a radio wave or something. Like it's something that doesn't really have an and. It's a sequence of numbers. But and needless just I'll just get there, and they decide to open. No, the first thing they can't really open it since there's no like power or something. So, but thankfully you bought some devices, and there's one device that allows them to open the gate. Now, I would like to know that we don't actually see what is through the gate. We just open it, and then we get this creature, this man, this. We get Giovanni. I'm gonna say I was expecting a little more over the top body horror, but then I saw the leaks for the next chapter, and let's just say that Giovanni is the first of the three characters who knows what kind of appearance they're gonna have in this final arc. And even the end of the chapter of the next one doesn't exactly give me the idea that body horror has ended. So be happy that this is what we get. Because you're gonna be buffing or whatever your action is when you see body horror or bugs would be. So anyway, and honestly, the faces for Vulcan, Lisa, and you pretty much said it all. More for Lisa, and Vulcan because he's more like, ah. But yeah. Now we have Giovanni appearing like this, and he states, "Oh, what gentleman you are. Thank you for opening the gate." Which I guess confirms that Giovanni was supposed to be the one to open the gates. Which I would like to ask, where was Giovanni, because they did not expect the eighth to be there. And he comments on it that who knows where a Bach will come in. Which, keep a note, Giovanni said, who knows where the Bach came in, meaning that a certain shapeshifter could also still be there. If you know what I mean. So, yeah, Giovanni basically shows, and they don't really, they kind of have a fight with Giovanni. It's more just like Lisa creating her tentacles and slapping it or Giovanni away, and Giovanni kind of using this cloak flash, whatever this thing is, in a way to like block it or to like dodge. I'm not even sure what Giovanni is honestly right now. Especially later in the chapter where we give these more like eyes to his glasses, or these more eye shape, which could be more like just a visual style, not literal, but I honestly would not be surprised if Giovanni's eyes are literally popping out. I mean, Giovanni's body is really fucked up in this chapter. Like in the previous ones, we've seen it looked more like he just robotically modified his body with some with some mutant insect DNA around him. This one, it's full on. What the heck? Are you just a head? Are you just a brain? Your brain a bug, or what the fuck are you? Seriously, the next chapter is gonna be even more. What the fuck is Giovanni at this point than this one? Trust me on that. So yeah. Now we get more about dialogue scene. And we also get PTSD from you. Well, PTSD in a weird way. And that is, you remembers the Vulcan's workshop arc where he got choked by Giovanni, I believe even shot by him. And it's not like having a panic attack. He kind of starts like, I just remember how grateful I am for everyone. Like he just starts to say how he's so happy for Vulcan, Lisa, the Ave, the doctors, nurses, like even Giovanni. He thanks everyone because they show him how they work so hard to help him survive and how kind everyone was. And he just like this is the best thing on the entire page just of him being extremely happy. Now, granted, you don't believe appears that much, so I believe most of his character is a bit of an unknown, or he would call in that character Enriquea, who's like not that much of his character. It's not. It's unknown for most of his character, but this was really surprising because I don't believe in any other time we've seen him. He was like really, yay, yay, thank you for hurting me. Oh, that. Maybe he has some mental issues, but I'm not sure what exactly it is. Honestly, I feel like Okubo might reveal that it's something, some trickery. I mean, after all, when you have a character like Giovanni who has already proven himself to be a brainwasher, not to mention that white guy in general could be considered most of them brainwashed. It is definitely and the fact that they can get in a lot of places with pretty little to anyone noticing, especially if no one is actively watching to see if someone would sneak in. Just keep in mind that don't be surprised if Giovanni brainwash you and it's going to force him to fight against Vulcan Lisa. I mean, he even kind of did that to Lisa now I think about it. Yeah, no, he did it. No, he brainwashed Lisa and then he wanted her to join Vulcan, but then their brainwashing was, I guess, a bit undone, or at least it wasn't a more big thing. I'm not exactly sure. Like, keep the brainwashing in mind for Giovanni, to say the least. Vulcan kind of just like ignores that. That like he's like, oh great, yeah great. Which I'm guessing might imply this was normal for him, but I'm not exactly sure. So we have Vulcan can then we gotta have more of a dialogue for this where uh, Giovanni is a bit more curious. Oh, I'm supposing you found out what Amaterasu is, or what's on the other side. And Vulcan states it's P, isn't it? Since that's one of the few things that hasn't been brought, a few things that has been actually brought back and not really explained yet. So Giovanni says indeed, and he states that the last cataclysm managed to solve that. Now again, I'm not sure what the P is exactly. In fact, I'm not even sure if the P is what we use to refer to it in my native language. But but basically, from what I can tell, P doesn't have an answer. It has I believe it's just a bunch of numbers that don't really have a result. And and Giovanni said it's a destruction spell and it's not complete. So Vulcan obviously is like, which I'm guessing is also the fan base. What it can be, P doesn't have an end. It's just it's just a endless cycle or something. I'm not sure what P is. I'm pretty sure someone will mention what P is in the comments below. So yeah. we have the characters, and Giovanni explains that, oh, don't, yeah, oh, come on, like, Evangelist, she solved the equation, she helped it all. It's basically all just an end to the humanity, and Vulcan's response to it is that you're just a death cult. And Giovanni is surprisingly kind of like kind of offended or just kind of like kind of decided being called a death cult. Every like every religion, and he starts to do that not talk where religion itself is tied to the Avengers. You know, that kind of like I believe in last time. I believe like the whole Yuna Arrow, the Shinra kind of speech they had. Yuna in the I believe it was called post off offer adventure arc, I believe, or post offer adventure arc. The arc that the two chapters that Arrow and Shu left to go to the Eighth. In those chapters where they basically state that all religion, everything comes from the evangelists, and the evangelists correct everything. Basically, Giovanni says that you can call us a cult, you can call us a religion, like it doesn't matter. Everything pretty much came from evangelists. So yeah, and it's again and they again talk about other things, but it's mostly reminding us all, and we finally get evangelists again. Well, not actually doing something, just like an appearance of the evangelists, and we even get like some really like what the fuck is going on with Giovanni. Like I feel like some of those are made like the way how Okubo draws stuff is more like to be more like so insanity to a character. But I'm not sure if that's what Giovanni's supposed to be taken as, or if that's literally what is happening. Which, if that's the case, then Vulcan Samurai are some of the most courageous people out there. Because if I saw what Giovanni's face, or whatever you call this at this point, is turning to, like, seriously, you literally, eyes look like they're out of those glasses, or whatever he has. And basically, the big plot twist to this whole thing is that Giovanni reveals to us that the sun, the sun, the thing that's over Earth that's giving us warmth, and whose rays are giving us warmth and all that. It turns out that was a planet before Earth, or at least a planet that existed. Yeah, the sun is the Earth. I feel like that's impossible, but maybe we revealed that sun was Earth uh be, before Earth had life. But yeah, that's what's revealed. Besides, the sun was normal until the Evangelist Apocalypse turned to yeah. I'm not following at all. So, alright, now here's the thing. The whole using sun, the moon, the whole stars thing, that's pretty common. Like, I feel like most of the times, the moon is used as a kind of death weapon, some kind of gateway or something. The stars are usually just like symbolically used, or just what people assume to be a weapon, but to be when it falls down or something. The sun rarely really gets like really ever used in this way. So yeah, so the sun was apparently the Earth. I got several questions like what kind of people were living on there? Were it just humans, and after it became the sun, the humans somehow end up on the current Earth, or I don't know. Honestly, I'm not even sure if this what Giovanni is saying this is the truth or it's the actual truth. I could imagine Avengers just lying or something. I could honestly, I mean, here's the thing. The whole turning Earth into the sun was mentioned by the evangelists. Like I believe every time they talk about their goal, they always say how they're gonna turn the Earth into the second sun. So I suppose it does make sense to why the sun would be a previous version of Earth, or previous Earth, a planet, and now, the sun. Which, my God, would that be a massive planet? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure on the size of the thing, or if we even can get the size of the sun. But from what I remember, the sun is a lot bigger than the Earth, like by a lot. So that was a massive planet. So yeah. Oh, by the way, Vulcan's reaction to this is just like what? So yeah, which I guess is what most people have. Then that are gonna be was like when they found this out. In fact, there is also another problem that this comes along with. What if the sun was supposed to be Earth? Then does that mean there was a sun for the current sun before it became the sun? Like, okay, let's go. Let's think about this in terms of let's go through this logic. Let's imagine the sun that we know right now. It was a planet, like an Earth, and then I'm guessing that other planets around it would probably have been considered maybe moons. I mean, I'm pretty sure that would be a bit more or less this size disparity. Now, if that sun had people on it, and if those people were humans, maybe with some kind of odd species, like I don't know, is there any kind of like a species that could be used in? Wait, no, wait. I believe they were an alien race in Soul Eater, but I think they were from the moon or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, like the planet and it had everything. So does that mean there's like a bigger, like the same gap as between Earth and the Sun type of planet further away from it? And does that mean there's even, and if we're to assume that one is also became the Sun on the same way, does that mean that planet also had a bigger one? Like, and that one have even a bigger one, and that one have an even bigger one? Like, how far are we going here with this? Like, how many suns are there in the universe? I mean, I have probably there's an even larger sun out there in the universe, but but if the sun, look, it's just overly complicated, honestly. It's best to just think about it. The sun was a planet, and now it's the sun. That's the best way to think about it, because otherwise I feel like we could be there or for just getting a headache over how ginormous a sun-sized planet would have to have a sun. Well, the fuck, no one noticed that. So I'm pretty sure if that was possible, we'd probably notice it at this point. But I mean, it's not realistic, anyways. It's manga, but it just is really is really fucking insane to think about it. So yeah, overall, this chapter wasn't really anything special. Like, we get some brain damaging reveals, and we finally get to scratch Giovanni of the what the fuck appearance are you gonna have list, for now at least. Again, I'm expecting to get again next chapter you'll be barfing, and I don't think that could be the end of it. But for now, at least, we can get his appearances out of the way. Now it's only Yuna and the Evangelist, and I feel like those two are probably the most horrific ones out of all of them. So yeah, I mean, there was nothing. There was no, like, okay, there was no real like character drama between them, as I kind of expect it's going to be. It feels like a pretty standard type of fight. Like, I honestly feel like there was more history with Dragon and Arthur in that, but again, maybe it was the first chapter, the first beginning of the fight, so maybe later we'll get more. Again, the dialogue, the transition haven't come from last day for the next chapter, so it could still come up. But yeah, it was a pretty okay alright chapter. We can get better. It's mostly gonna get better. And also, when it comes to Giovanni, I would say only his Shinra fight with him was the only time I believe. The second one was the only time I would say his fights were really good. I mean, the one versus Volcanobi was a more of a bam, nothing special. The one in Workshop was basically kick, kick. So yeah, Giovanni's fights are never really the spectacular powerhouses shows that Benimaru offers, but yeah. So, anyways, I hope you like this chapter review. I hope you're gonna leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that, and I can't wait to see all of you next time. Bye.